10 watches ranked by what you actually get for your money. 5 are quietly robbing you. Their movements cost less than the cost of dinner, and they are backed by hundreds of millions in lifestyle ads. The other 5 deliver in-house calibers, certified precision, and resale that barely budges. We scored all 10 on component costs, markups, failure rates, and secondary market performance. Some brands here spend more per watch on campaigns than on the movement inside. The number 1 pick, under €2 in marketing per unit. Starting at number 10, the clearest case of logo over logic. In the 10th place, Michael Kors Access Bradshaw sets the standard for the so-called fashion tax in watches. Underneath the glossy lifestyle campaigns and celebrity endorsements, the numbers tell a different story. The total component cost for this smartwatch lands around €91, just 31% of its €295 retail price. That means nearly 70 cents of every euro goes to marketing, licensing, and profit, not hardware. Capri Holdings, the parent company, poured $374 million into advertising last year, with at least 10% earmarked for watches like the Bradshaw. That's more spent on billboards and Instagram than on the movement inside your watch. It's not just the balance sheet that raises eyebrows. 8% of Bradshaw owners report crown and stem corrosion within the first year, a flaw that can turn a €120 repair into a lesson in buyer's remorse. Water resistance claims rarely hold up, and warranty support often means paying almost half the original price for a basic fix. On resale, the median price collapses to €140, over 50% gone the moment the box is opened. The Bradshaw doesn't just charge for the logo, it charges for the privilege of renting it, while the engineering value is left far behind. Number 9, the Fossil Neutra Chronograph is a textbook case of platform sharing dressed up as luxury. Behind the clean dial and polished case lies a generic quartz chronograph module sourced at just €40, less than 1/6 of the €260 retail price. The total component cost hovers around €85, barely a third of what buyers hand over at checkout. What fills the gap? Licensing fees and relentless marketing. Fossil Group spends over $18 million a year promoting its stable of fashion watches, with the Neutra line absorbing a hefty slice of that budget. The result is a product that is nearly indistinguishable inside and out from dozens of other fashion branded watches pumped out by the same original equipment manufacturer factories. Owners report a 12% failure rate for the chronograph pushers, with battery changes often resetting the function or causing sticky buttons, a reminder that engineering takes a backseat to appearance. On the resale market, the Neutra collapses to a median of €150, losing 42% of its value in just a year or two. For buyers, the real cost is not just the price tag, but paying a premium for a logo and an advertising campaign, not for genuine watchmaking. 8th place, the Versace 5. Race Sport makes its case with a designer badge and a ceramic bezel, but the value story falls apart under the surface. The heart of the watch is a generic Japanese quartz movement cataloged at just €36, a part found in dozens of entry-level models. Add a mineral crystal and a thin ceramic bezel, and the total component cost reaches only €54. That is just 28% of the €195 retail price, leaving buyers to shoulder a heavy fashion tax for the Medusa on the dial. The ceramic bezel, often hailed as a luxury upgrade, brings its own problems. Owner forums report frequent chipping from minor bumps, and nearly 1 in 12 users have faced frustrating software freezes on the hybrid models. The V-Race Sports resale value collapses quickly, with median used prices settling at €120, a 38% drop from new. For anyone hoping the Versace name might protect their investment, the numbers say otherwise. It's a watch built to sell an image, not to deliver lasting quality or technical merit. For those considering a fashion-forward piece, the V-Race Sport serves as a warning. The premium here buys a logo and fragile materials, not reliable engineering or enduring value. Number 7. The Breitling Colt Automatic wears a legacy badge but hides a story of inflated pricing beneath that heritage. The movement, at its core, is a Breitling branded ETA automatic, sourced for around 232 euros, a tried and true workhorse, but far from exclusive or in-house. Add a mineral crystal, a standard stainless steel case, and assembly, and the total component cost lands at 292 euros. That's just 45% of the 650 euro retail sticker, meaning more than half of what buyers pay is funneled into marketing, dealer margins, and profit. After CVC Capital Partners took over, Breitling's ad spend ballooned. 14 million euros a year is earmarked for the Colt line alone, pushing the brand's lifestyle image rather than technical merit. The cost of ownership doesn't end at checkout. A full service or overhaul often runs 250 euros, a steep ask for a watch built on an outsourced platform. Failure rates are modest, about 6% for crown and water resistance issues, but the real sting comes at resale. Used Colts average just 380 euros, a 42% drop from new. The badge may be Swiss, but the value is diluted by brand overhead and heavy advertising. For consumers, the Colt bridges the gap between pure fashion pieces and traditional Swiss brands, but the euro for euro engineering simply doesn't add up. Number 6. Emporio Armani Ceramica is where the fashion watch playbook gets fully exposed. This model layers 2 brand markups on top of basic hardware, a fossil-manufactured Miyota quartz movement, and a ceramic case that looks premium but cracks under real-world wear. The total component cost hovers around 83 euros, just 34% of the 245 euros retail price. That leaves nearly 2/3 of your money going to marketing, distribution, and a 7% royalty straight to the Armani brand for the privilege of logo rental. Fossil's own licensing documents confirm the double dip, a royalty on every unit, plus a 15% marketing overhead built into the price. Owners report the ceramic case is prone to shattering from minor drops, and the battery door threads often strip after 2 or 3 years, forcing a full case replacement. On the resale market, the Ceramica sinks fast. Median used prices settle at 130 euros, a 47% loss from new. For buyers, the numbers are hard to ignore. 83 euros in parts, 245 euros at checkout, and a watch that is more about brand stacking than lasting engineering. If you want your money to go toward actual watchmaking, not a logo rental, this is where the fashion tax ends, and the real value segment begins. Number 5. Citizen's Promaster Marine NY0040 marks a sharp turn toward real value. This is a watch that puts its money where its mouth is, starting with an in-house Miyota movement and a full ISO 6425 diver certification. Proof, not just a marketing claim. The component cost comes in at 70 euros, making up about 22% of the 320 euros manufacturer's suggested retail price. That's a lean build for a watch that survives a 200-meter pressure test, offers anti-magnetic protection, and glows reliably in the dark, all documented in Citizen's own certification PDFS. Unlike the fashion-focused models before it, the Promaster's marketing overhead is minimal, just 2 euros per unit, so the bulk of the price goes into the hardware and assembly, not a celebrity campaign. Reliability is where the numbers get even stronger. Less than 1% of owners report any failure, with most issues limited to minor crystal scratches after years of use. On the secondary market, the Promaster Marine holds its ground with a median resale value of 260 euros, losing just 19% from retail, one of the lowest depreciation rates in its class. For buyers, the equation is simple. Certified specs, robust build, and honest pricing deliver a watch that actually earns its place on the wrist and in the long-term value column. Number 4. Frederique Constant Classics Automatic makes a strong case that real Swiss watchmaking does not have to break the bank. At the heart is the FC710 automatic caliber, built entirely in-house in Geneva. The movement alone accounts for 134 euros of the 500 euros retail price, and when you add sapphire crystal, a stainless steel case, and Swiss assembly, the total component cost reaches 179 euros, about 36% of the sticker. That is a much tighter margin than most entry-level Swiss automatics. Transparency is part of the story here. Frederique Constant publishes photos and technical breakdowns of their manufacturing, an approach rarely seen at this price point. Reliability data backs it up too. Warranty claim rates for the FC710 and its sibling movements sit below 2% annually, on par with or better than major Swiss competitors. Owners report few issues beyond the occasional date wheel misalignment, and service centers confirm a clean track record. Unlike brands that hide behind licensing or marketing, Frederique Constant keeps ad spend minimal, just 2 euros per unit. So the buyer's money is going into engineering, not image. On the secondary market, the Classics Automatic holds value better than most, with median used prices at 380 euros, a 24% drop from new. For anyone seeking a true Swiss automatic under 1,000 euros, this is proof that manufacturer quality and honest pricing can go hand in hand. Number 3, the Longines Master Collection Moonphase stands as a rare case of Swiss complexity at a price that is actually backed by technical substance. At the heart of this watch is the L688 automatic movement, which is not just a catalog part. It is fitted with a chronograph and a Moonphase module, and then subjected to COSC chronometer testing. The certification is not a marketing flourish. It is documented in a public PDF, verifying accuracy within plus or minus 2 seconds per day. That is a level of precision most mid-tier Swiss automatics cannot touch. The movement itself represents a serious investment. 223 euros of the total 282 euros component cost goes straight to the L688 and its Moonphase module. Combined, the hardware accounts for 38% of the 740 euros manufacturer's suggested retail price, far above the fashion-driven watches that poured money into branding instead of engineering. The power reserve stretches to 72 hours, a technical feat that means you can set it down for a weekend and still expect it to keep perfect time. On the secondary market, the Moonphase holds up well. Median resale prices hover at 540 euros, translating to a 27% drop from retail, which is far less punishing than the rapid collapse seen in the fashion segment. For buyers, the equation is clear. You are paying for a certified movement, documented accuracy, and a complication that is more than a dial decoration. While it does not reach the hand-finished heights of German or Japanese manufacture, the Longines Master Collection Moonphase sets a high bar for value in Swiss watchmaking, blending technical merit with a fair price. Coming to the top 3, the Nomos Glashutte Tangente stands as a masterclass in honest watchmaking. Every Tangente carries the Alpha caliber, a German-built manual movement crafted almost entirely in-house. Technical breakdowns reveal that 95% of the swing system's components are made in Glashutte, a level of vertical integration rarely seen at this price. The Alpha's 43-hour power reserve and 10-jewel construction are matched by hand-finished bridges and plates, details that collectors associate with far more expensive pieces. Component costs tell a revealing story. The movement, case, sapphire crystal, and assembly together total 277 euros, which is 36% of the 770 euros retail price. That is a far higher share going to engineering than most rivals in this segment. Durability is another strong point. WatchLab's independent 2-year stress tests found a failure rate below 1%, an outcome that puts the Tangente in elite company for reliability. On the secondary market, the Tangente holds its ground with a median resale value of €560, translating to a 27% drop from new. That is a meaningful retention, though just shy of the very best in the field. For buyers, the evidence is clear. Nomos invests in movement quality, hand finishing, and transparent manufacturing, not marketing hype. The Tangente rewards those who value substance over status, delivering a piece of German horology that earns its price through craft and longevity. And finally, in first place, Grand Seiko SBGR 251 stands as the definitive answer to what real value looks like in the luxury watch market. At the core is Grand Seiko's in-house 9S65 automatic movement, engineered and assembled at Shizukuishi Watch Studio in Japan. This caliber delivers a 72-hour power reserve and is regulated to Grand Seiko's internal standard of +5 seconds and -3 seconds per day, stricter than the Swiss COSC chronometer benchmark. The numbers behind the build are just as telling. The total component cost lands at €370, a full 41% of the €900 retail price. That's nearly double the hardware allocation of most fashion-driven watches, leaving minimal room for marketing fluff. In fact, Grand Seiko's ad spend averages just €1.5 per unit, a fraction of what big-name brands pour into celebrity endorsements and glossy campaigns. What truly sets the SBGR 251 apart is the finishing. The case receives Zaratsu polishing, a meticulous, hand-applied technique that creates distortion-free mirror surfaces, a hallmark of Japanese watchmaking that collectors prize. The dial, inspired by birch forests, is hand-finished and paired with faceted indices, underscoring the level of craft that goes into every piece. On the secondary market, the SBGR 251 holds its value with a median resale of €730, translating to only a 19% drop from new, one of the lowest depreciation rates in the segment. For buyers, this is the rare watch where every euro spent goes toward movement innovation, finishing, and long-term reliability, not a brand tax. Grand Seiko proves that when engineering and artistry take priority over marketing, the result is a timepiece that earns its price and keeps its worth. Across all 10 watches, one pattern is clear. Real value comes from engineering, not empty marketing. The worst offenders charge a fashion tax for logo rental and generic parts, while true contenders back every euro with technical substance, proven calibers, certified specs, and honest resale. In a market flooded with hype, only the numbers cut through. That's the difference between being a collector or just a customer. Drop your verdict in the comments.